The Federal Reserve is making a difficult decision on interest rates today, and Google finally introduces its own AI chatbot. I'm Jeff Pierre, and this is The 7 from The Washington Post. It's Wednesday, March 22nd. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. First up, the Fed will decide whether to raise interest rates again today. The nation's central bank has been hiking rates for a year now. That's one of the only ways the Fed can bring down rising prices. But it's becoming more complicated. The rate hikes unintentionally led to the banking turmoil you've heard about in these past 2 weeks, including the second largest bank failure in U.S. history. At the same time, inflation is still much higher than normal, which is a problem. Experts say that you can expect another rate hike, though it's probably going to be a smaller one. But economists disagree about whether that's the right move. Story number 2. The U.S. said it will send tanks to Ukraine sooner than expected. Officials initially said it could take up to 2 years to send the powerful M1 Abrams tank to Ukraine. But a new plan calls for refurbishing what the U.S. military already has available. The tanks are now expected to get there by this fall. This announcement came as Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese leader Xi Jinping held talks in Moscow, fueling fears that Beijing could give military aid to Russia. At number 3, another powerful storm slammed into California yesterday. Damaging winds, heavy rains, and flooding rocked the San Francisco and Monterey Bay areas. More than 200,000 customers lost power, and at least one person died. The same storm is dragging an atmospheric river towards Southern California. The forecast includes heavy rain, snow, and strong winds through today. Number 4, Idaho is preparing to bring back executions by firing squad. A bill passed the state Senate this week and is expected to be signed into law. Idaho would become the 5th state to do this. The death penalty is still legal in 27 states, but only a handful of them actually carry out executions. These states have been forced to look for alternatives to lethal injection because drug supply shortages and lawsuits have made them problematic. Idaho hasn't been able to carry out an execution since 2012, and this move would give the state other options. A deadly fungus is rapidly spreading in U.S. health facilities. That's story number 5. The yeast strain is known as Candida auris. It's dangerous, especially for people who are really sick, like nursing home patients on ventilators and cancer patients on chemotherapy. CDC data shows infections from the fungus tripled nationally, from 476 in 2019 to 1,471 in 2021, and it suggests that the numbers have continued to rise. Number 6.
Ohtani's ready. Trout's ready. 3-2. He struck him out! Ohtani strikes out Trout, and Japan's back on top of the baseball world.
Japan won the World Baseball Classic last night. They defeated the U.S. 3-2 in the final in Miami. Shohei Ohtani struck out his Los Angeles teammate Mike Trout in an epic ending to the game. It was a good moment for the game as a whole. The World Baseball Classic was founded in 2006, and it's still establishing itself. But the commitment of the game's best players, like Ohtani and Trout, has dramatically improved its credibility. And number 7, our last story today. Google introduced its own AI chatbot yesterday. It's called Bard, and it's Google's response to ChatGPT and Bing from Microsoft. Bard can answer questions and have conversations on nearly any subject. This is another step for artificial intelligence. It's increasingly making its way into our lives. AI won't entirely replace humans anytime soon, but it's already transforming some jobs. You can read more about AI at the help desk at washingtonpost.com. And just like that, you are all caught up. Don't forget to subscribe to the 7 podcast wherever you're listening. And while you're doing that, you can also subscribe to our evening show, Post Reports. They have in-depth stories on the bank collapse, AI chatbots, and a lot of the news we've been talking about on this show. I'm Jeff Pierre, and I will meet you back here tomorrow.